Hi, my name is Bill Bradley. I'm an extreme endurance athlete, and this is my video newsletter. The topic of today's newsletter is CANEI. C-A-N-E-I, CANEI. That stands for Constant and Never-Ending Improvement. I learned about that in a Tony Robbins seminar and how important that is to success in life. And it stuck with me. That was 20-something years ago. And I've used that my whole life. CANEI. Anyway, I want to talk about how I'm using that for the English channel for what's coming up as my 6th attempt. If you aren't aware of it, I've taken 5 attempts at the English channel. Last year I got within 4 miles ashore, and a storm blew in, separated me from the boat, and that was and the pilot pulled me. So I said it was kind of dangerous when you're not near the boat in a storm. Who could blame him? Anyway, so what I want to do, so I'm going down, I write out a list of what I need to work on so that I can make it next time that 4 extra miles and feel like what it gets to get to France. And I already shared in an earlier video about swimming that last 4 miles and swimming against the current to get used to that. So I'm going to share some of the other things I'm working on. Speed. The first thing is speed. So last year when I jumped in the channel, your boat goes out and you're running, you're going from your harbor to, along the shore of England, and then you jump in and you go to the shore. You stand on the beach and you wave your hand and the pilot goes, "Okay, go, Bill," and then you swim towards France, right? The 21-mile swim to France. And I remember there was a guy from Australia who was right next to me, and we jumped out of the water, jumped out of our boats, and right before we jumped in the water to swim to shore, he looks at me and goes, "Hey, mate, I'll see you in the drink." That was his last thing he said to me. And I said, "Okay." And we swam to shore, and he took off, and that was the last I saw him. That guy was good. He was fast. So anyway, so I get out there. I get within 4 miles ashore, and a storm hits. And it blows in these 4-foot swells, one after another, just pounding us. And anyway, I got separated from the boat. And the boat pilot pulled it, said it was too dangerous, and he pulled me from the swim. And I remember we're starting to head back, and I'm all depressed about not making it again. And I'm in the boat, and they hand me a bucket because it's so rough. I'm like puking in the bucket. But I couldn't help but notice over the radio, that someone had made it to shore. I said, "Somebody made it to shore." And they go, "Yeah, that Australian guy, my mate made it to shore." I go, "You're kidding me." I go, "How did he do that through that storm?" They go, "He was close enough to shore when that storm hit that it didn't affect him. He was faster than me. Like I said, he probably beat me by 3 or 4 hours. He would have beat me by. And in this case, by being that 3 or 4 hours, he made it before that storm hit. It couldn't affect him. The hills behind gave him protection because he was close enough to shore when it hit." Now, I learned a lesson from that, and I had been people telling me over and over again that I needed to do more speed work. And I had burned out on speed work from my triathlon days. That's all I did was speed work. So in recent years, I've done a lot of just training in the bay and a lot of long training and a lot of drills and just a little bit of speed work. But I said, okay, I need to do speed work. Plus my buddy Bob had, over and over again, who is just legendary at the club. He has the record for under the Golden Gate Bridge for 40-something years. And he said, "Nobody makes the English Channel without doing speed work, Bill." And probably Bob. Now I say, Bob's right. So I've been up there. I'm working with my coach, Mark, and we've been doing speed work. And I recently just set my record for a 50-yard swim, for a 100-yard swim. And we're going to go for my 200-yard swim. And these are records I set like 15 years ago. So I am getting faster, matey. I might be landing on shore, but before that storm hits this year. So I'm getting faster. Rough water. That's number 2 on CANEI. I need to work on my rough water. I always need to work on my rough water. I remember the first time here I swam the channel. I trained all in San Francisco Bay, and it was pretty, it gets rough in there, but not like English Channel rough, right? There's a whole different ballgame. And I swam that year, my first year, the first half hour was very rough. And then the next hour and a half was rough. And that's really, really rough when you're talking about the English Channel. And I remember one of the girls in there, I lasted 4 hours. I got seasick and puked my guts out until I couldn't swim anymore. And I remember one of the girls on the boat, one of my crew, she looked at me and says, Bill, you swam for 4 hours with fear in your eyes. I go, what do you expect of these giant white caps? The boat's pitching all over the place. I'm thinking I'm going to drown. She goes, most people aren't afraid of rough water when they swim in the English Channel. I go, ooh, I guess I'm not most people, and that's probably why I didn't make it. Dang it. And so anyway, so rough water. So I've been working on it. I've been doing a lot of, rough water swimming in the bay, kind of like rough, windy days. You get out there in the bay and you swim, and you can get pretty bounced around. But I haven't done a lot in the open ocean, And I did do well, though, when I got hit with that storm last year. I asked Mariko, who's on my boat, my captain, my team captain. Anyway, I asked her how my eyes looked, and she said, I look good. So I didn't get all freaked out on that. But Bob says, remember, he has the Golden Gate Bridge record. I always listen to everything he says. We need more, Bill. You need more. And so he's going to take me out. This is the plan. He's organizing last year we did a 4-hour, 6-hour, 8-hour, and a 10-hour swim, no wetsuit, San Francisco Bay, 50-something degree water. And this year, as one of those swims, we're going to go out to the 10-mile buoy out in the Pacific Ocean, and we're swimming to shore. And I've heard horror stories out there. I mean, horror stories where, like, the captain gets sick because it's so rough out there. Definitely going to be bigger stuff than what you would get in the channel, because this is just flat out, there's just this big giant Pacific Ocean. And fact is, my friend swam, Melissa swam from, with a relay. They did a relay, and she was telling me that there's a 6-person relay, and they went out to the Farallones early, and the first person ever to do was an all-woman team. And she said the swells got up to 20 feet high. What I swam with in the English Channel, separating from the boat, was like 4 to 5 footers. These were 20 feet. She said when somebody was swimming in those 20-foot swells, the captain would yell, swimmer, swimmer, swimmer. And it was because the swimmer had gone over the swell and just disappeared. And so everybody on the boat had to look for the swimmer when the water would come back up again. And so she's telling me this story, and so I'm hearing that, and I'm hearing about, the captains getting sick on these boats out there because it's so rough. And I told Bob, we're not going to go out there on a real rough day, are we? He goes, oh yeah, I hope it's a really rough day. So anyway, I'm either going to get cured of my fear of rough water, or I'm going to die. I could hear him yelling. I'll be the guy in the water yelling, swimmer, swimmer, swimmer. Anyway, so that's the second thing we're working on, is rough water swimming. More mileage. I'm putting more mileage, and I'm swimming year-round in the channel, getting used to that cold water, being in that cold water longer. I'm trying to do 2-3-hour swims almost every weekend before I get up to where I'm doing those 4, 6, 8, 10-hour swims. So just get a nice big base. Because when I hit that storm last year, and I swam in that storm for like an hour and a half, I was tired. I mean, I'd been in the water for 10 hours, and then I hit that storm for the last hour and a half or hour and 45 minutes. It was tiring swimming in rough water. So I realized I even got to get more fitness, more endurance for when I'm out there. And like I said, then the cold. So I'm swimming year-round. San Francisco Bay's had a mild year, though. The temperature hasn't got down as cold as usual. It usually gets down in like 49, and it's been down at like 53 degrees Fahrenheit, so not super, super cold, but cold enough that, I'm getting, the channel will be low 60s probably by the time I get over there, end of August, maybe mid-60s, I don't know, something like that. And so I'm definitely getting a lot of cold water swimming, so I'm swimming year-round in the bay, putting more mileage in the bay to build up my fitness. So those are my main CANEIs. Constant and never-ending improvement. And let me practice again. I think I practiced this in my last video. The victory sign. I'm practicing the victory sign for when I get to France. I need to get this victory sign going into my head. Anyway, CANEI. Constant and never-ending improvement. And you will get your dream. That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, if you're interested, follow me, Facebook, Twitter. You can email me if you have any questions to epicbillbradley@gmail.com. Give me a couple weeks to get back to you. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel. We're trying to get more YouTube followers. That way YouTube goes, hey, that Bill Bradley, he's somebody. He's got some followers. We'll send him some people. Anyway, they recognize you once you get to a certain level of followers or subscribers. So please take the time to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you need information on me talking to your team, your group, your company, your organization, you can also email me at epicbillbradley@gmail.com. I would love to do that. Thank you very much.